Alex here with another review. This time we're taking a look at the Wolfbox G900 Pro, which is their flagship mirror dashcam, and it is loaded with a ton of cool features, including the Sony Starvis 2 sensor for superior image quality, as well as voice control, also 5 GHz Wi-Fi, and also the option to mount it directly to the mirror instead of the straps that are included in this kit. And on this video, I'll walk you through these features, and we'll also take a look at some driving video. That way you can decide if this is the right dashcam for you. And I have placed a link in the description down below to this dashcam in case you want to look at it further or acquire one for yourself. Starting off with mounting, there are 2 straps located on the back of this dashcam. I'm going to place that on top of my original mirror. Then I can grab that strap, secure the first one, grab the second one, I'm gonna secure that one too, and that's it. Rear camera is waterproof, so it could be installed outside of the vehicle or inside of the vehicle. I can peel this back and attach it to the car. Also notice that the included bracket does allow us to adjust the view. They also included a second bracket, and these guys are usually used to mount the camera against a vertical surface like this. However, this bracket does not reach that surface area, so I'm not sure how this would help in mounting the camera against a vertical surface, but maybe it can provide some other flexibility when mounting and being able to extend the camera this far out. And here's the rear camera extension. It does have the optional wire that can be used to enable reverse guidelines, which I'll show you in a little bit. Also included is the GPS antenna, and this is normally installed on the inside of the vehicle. This can be peeled and then attached to the car. And for power, we get this automotive adapter, and it does have an extra USB port on the back. That way we can power the dashcam and something else. And we are presented with the rear of the vehicle, and swiping on the screen is gonna switch views. Swiping one more time is gonna give me the split view. This one's convenient, so we can adjust the angle of both the front camera and the rear camera. Swiping one more time brings us back to the rear. And we could further adjust the view by swiping on the screen. I'm gonna swipe, and you can see it goes quite a bit. I'm gonna go to the top, and both the rear and the front are adjustable. Let me go to the front, and you can see that. Now the great thing is that technically it doesn't really matter where you leave this at. And the entire image is being recorded, what you see on here. This is just what's displayed on the mirror. Also notice that we are recording as indicated by that red blinking dot, and we also have the date and time on this side. And back to the left, we get a compass and a mile indicator. Now what's pretty cool is that both this information and this information can be removed from the mirror if you wanted a cleaner display, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. There's also these 2 shortcuts right here. The first one turns off all device sounds, and the second one can enable or disable the Wi-Fi. And as you may have noticed, every time I tap on the screen, there's a menu bar that comes in the bottom. The very first icon allows me to stop the recording or re-enable recording. The second icon is for the brightness adjustment, and you can lower that or increase that as needed. And this third icon allows us to switch through the views one more time, which is the same thing as swiping on the screen. And the next one that looks like a camera, it just takes a picture. Literally, that's all it does. Now there is this lock icon, and what this is gonna do, this is gonna flag and protect the section of the video that is currently being recorded as important. There's also this microphone icon, and this turns off audio recording in case you wanted to have a top secret conversation, only video is recorded. Tapping that icon one more time re-enables audio recording. But let's look at video playback, and that is done with this icon. And as you can see, the video begins to play back automatically, and they have sorted them out into folders. The very first folder contains just normal driving video, perhaps nothing exciting happened there. The second folder contains video that was flagged by either you manually or the dashcam, where it believes that you probably got into a car crash. And the next folder contains any pictures that you may have taken. And notice that this is the front camera, but if I wanted to see the rear, I'm gonna tap on this icon, And now it's gonna switch over to the rear camera, and we have the same folders again: normal video, important video that has been flagged as important, and any pictures. Well, let's go ahead and play back a video. I'm gonna select that guy, and as you can see, it starts to play back automatically. And with this icon, I can enlarge it. And there is also this trash icon if I wanted to delete it, or this lock icon if I wanted to flag that video and protect it as important. Also helpful is this check mark option that allows us to select multiple videos to either delete them or to flag and protect them. But what's also pretty neat is that we can control the dashcam with voice commands. Let me show you a few of them. Show front camera, show rear camera, turn off screen, turn on screen. And to see all the voice commands that are supported, you can tap on this icon, and that's gonna bring up the full list of all the voice commands. And you can also turn off the screen using the physical button on the bottom, and the dashcam actually continues recording in what I call stealth mode, even though the screen is off. And also notice that when the screen is off, you could use this similarly to a normal mirror. It is reflective, and you can always bring the screen on again by tapping that button one more time. But now let's try out parking assist. I'm gonna put the vehicle on reverse. And as you can see, the view shifted down a little, and now we get reverse guidelines. Now, what's pretty interesting is that this mirror does not have fully adjustable guidelines. They are partially adjustable. By that, I mean that we get high, medium, and low. However, what they done, they have provided us with this option that can give us either the full screen zoomed in view or a full screen zoomed out view. This gives you the entire image. So you can combine either this in either one of the positions, high, medium, or low, or you can choose this guy and again, try to find a position that matches for your vehicle. Also notice when I pull the car out of reverse, the view returns back to the prior one. Moving over to the advanced features, those are accessed with the settings icon. And the very first one we get is resolution. The highest is 4K for the front and 2.5K for the rear. However, we can lower that to 4K for the front and full high definition for the rear. Now, why would you want to lower the resolution? Well, if you wanted to fit more onto your memory card, and you can see you can go as low as 1080p for the front and 1080p for the rear, which is full high definition for both. Again, if you're trying to increase the capacity, the number of hours of video that you're gonna carry on your memory card. And display modes allows you to select the default view shown when the mirror turns on, either the front camera, rear camera, or a split screen. You can also select whether you want the sound to be recorded by default or not. And the G sensor, which can help to detect a car crash, has adjustability, low, medium, or high, or it could be turned off. We also get this fatigue reminder if we wanted to be reminded to take a break after a period of time. And for Wi-Fi, this supports both 2.4 gigahertz and also the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which can help to increase the speed of those downloads and accessing the videos coming from this dashcam. We also get this screensaver mode, and this just turns off the screen, and again, the dashcam records in the background, and you can set after how much time do you want the LCD panel to turn off. If you want this to stay on all the time, you're gonna wanna leave the screensaver function off. We also get this exposure adjustment, and this is for the front camera, and not a lot of dashcams have this feature where you can adjust it. If you feel that the video is too bright, you can decrease the exposure, and that's gonna correct for that over brightness. And if you feel that the video is not bright enough, you can increase the exposure, again potentially giving you brighter video. Moving over to the next page of settings, we get voice control, and here you can turn it on or off, and again see the list of voice commands that are supported. And also the rear camera is adjustable. It can be flipped horizontally, and it can also be flipped vertically in case you needed adjustment. The reversing guidelines, as I showed you earlier, you can select for those to be either in the full screen display or the panorama display. But moving over to parking mode, now you do need the optional hardwire kit in order for you to enable this, and you get two choices. You get impact detection, or you can run it in time-lapse. Now, if you run the dashcam in time-lapse for parking monitoring, you have three choices as far as how much to run it for. 12 hours all the way up to 48 hours of time-lapse recording, or I could just turn this off if I don't need parking mode. Now here's where it gets fun, because on time display I can turn this off, and on the GPS display I can turn that off as well. And now if I go back to the main screen, notice how clean this looks. There is no more display over here and no more display over here. We only have these two little small indicators. That is pretty cool. Not a lot of dashcams offer that option. The next three icons are related to the watermarks that are shown on the video recorded. You can customize whether you want the date to be shown or not, whether you want your speed to be recorded or not, or whether you want your GPS coordinates to be shown or not. And speed unit allows you to switch between kilometers per hour or miles per hour. Moving over to the next page of settings, we get language. And here there's actually quite a bit of languages to choose from in case you wanted to change this from the default one. And as far as the time and date, this dashcam, because it's GPS enabled, it can get that information automatically, so there is no need to put that in manually. And in order for you to make sure that you do have the correct date and time, you're gonna wanna select the time zone that you are located on. And what's actually pretty neat is that on this particular dashcam, not only did they added the time zone numbers, but next to them you have the actual name or where those particular time zones are. I know sometimes people are not really sure about what time zone they're on, so it is convenient to have the name of the particular area that a time zone belongs to help you set the correct time zone. And if you happen to live in a place that observes daylight savings time, here you can enable or disable time, which can correct for that 1 hour change. The flicker option can help to reduce any flickering of any lights that may be recorded. You're gonna wanna set that to 50 Hz if you're in Europe or 60 Hz if you are in the United States. Now the format reminder just reminds you to format the memory card either at 15-day intervals, 25 intervals, or you can turn it off altogether. And to format the memory card, that is done with the format SD card option. Now it is also recommended to use this option every time a brand new memory card has been installed. But now let's go ahead and move over to the app. And the app is called Wolfbox, and it connects to the dashcam and shows us a live view coming from it. Now if you wanted to see that larger, I'm gonna go ahead and tap on that icon, and then you can maximize the view. And tapping on the screen also brings additional controls. Tapping this icon is gonna switch over to the rear view. And also we got this microphone icon that turns off audio recording or re-enables audio recording. Now this guy right here, the only thing it does is just flips the image horizontally. And with this icon right here, you can stop the current recording. Not sure why you would want to do that, but you can do that from there. And you can also re-enable recording again. And then you have this camera icon that, just like before, takes a picture. And to access the videos that are on the dashcam, that is done with this icon. And you'll notice that the videos are sorted out into 3 different folders. The first folder, which is called Loop, is just normal video, potentially also driving around and nothing exciting happened there. The next folder is gonna contain pictures, and the next folder is gonna contain important videos that we flag as important or that the dashcam flags that's important. Also notice that there is a letter next to that video, and that letter indicates either the front camera or the rear camera. Let's go ahead and play back a video. I'm gonna tap on that one. And that is the front camera, and automatically starts playing. And just like before, we can make that bigger with that icon if we wanted to play it back on a larger screen. We also get this icon that allows us to download the video from our dashcam to our phone, or this camera icon that allows us to take a snap of that video. And you can see on the smaller view, those icons are also available here: download icon, screenshot icon, and the delete option. And to manage multiple files, they're giving us the select option, and now I can tap on multiple videos to download or to delete. And finally, we get this gear icon that gives us access to some of the settings of the dashcam. And I say some because not all the settings that I showed you on the dashcam are on the app. I think they selected kind of like the priority ones that people are changing most often, such as enabling or disabling sound recording, video resolution, and so on. Here is also where you can change the Wi-Fi name and password, which I recommend. That way you don't leave it on the default one. But now let's go ahead and take a look at some driving video, both at day and at night, so we can see how well this dashcam actually performs. And this is an audio test of the Wolfbox G900 Pro, and I am sitting on the driver's side seat. And this is an audio test of the Wolfbox G900 Pro, and I'm standing outside the driver's side door. And for the front camera, Wolfbox says that they're using the Sony Starvis 2 IMX678 image sensor. Now this is a fairly large sensor. We are just starting to see this on some dashcams. The Starvis 2 family is more advanced than Starvis 1. However, they do come in different ranges as far as size and performance, and the IMX678 is definitely one of the top of its class for the Starvis 2 line. And for the rear camera, Wolfbox says that they're using another Sony Starvis sensor. However, this time it is the IMX335, which is from the prior Starvis generation, Starvis 1. And this is actually a pretty good sensor. We've seen this on other dash cams, and it produces good image quality. And what's interesting is that for this rear camera, Wolfbox says that it is not compatible with G900, that it is a different camera than what was used on the G900. It looks like a different camera, and that they say that this has an increase in performance over the G900 rear camera. So if you're trying to decide between the G900 Pro and the normal G900, first off, we want to remember that the G900 was for a long time their flagship mirror dash cam. So if you go for the G900, you're going to get some really good image quality. However, if you want the latest on image quality, the G900 Pro is definitely going to beat the G900 because of its Sony Starvis Sensor 2 as far as video quality. Now, the other reason you may want to go for the G900 Pro is to be able to access the Wi-Fi and the app. On the G900, there is no app or Wi-Fi support. Just remember that the Wi-Fi and the Sony Starvis Sensor 2 add cost to this dashcam, so this does have a higher cost than the G900, and you could potentially save money by just getting the G900 if you don't need the Wi-Fi support and if you don't need to have the latest and the greatest as far as video quality. But if your budget does allow you to get the G900 Pro, I would say definitely try to go for this guy instead, because even if you don't use the Wi-Fi and app, I think the video image quality alone is worth the extra price. And as far as those partially adjustable reverse guidelines, this is an area where the G900 Pro can definitely improve on. We have fully adjustable reversing guidelines on the G850, so I am not sure why we don't get that same capability on the G900 Pro, considering that this is at the very top of its class. Hopefully they can add that feature on the next firmware update. And if reversing guidelines are not your priority, I know some people don't use them, then technically it doesn't really matter. You do have some flexibility as far as placing them with that high, medium, and low setting. Not as nice as fully adjustable guidelines, but we do have some level of adjustability. And you'll be surprised at the number of mirror dashcams that I reviewed that have no adjustability. They just have static guidelines. So it does make a difference when you are able to adjust them at any level. And if you want to see the full installation video for the G900, I'll have placed a link to that in the description description down below, and I'm also gonna put a link down there to this dashcam, including that direct mount kit for those of you that are looking to delete the straps on this thing. And if you have any questions regarding this, please put that in the comments down below. If you found any part of this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button to support the channel, and stay tuned as I have a lot more dashcam reviews coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.